Welcome into episode number 115 of The Voice Behind the Voice. I'm Sean Aronson, the TV and radio broadcaster for the St. Paul Saints, an independent minor league baseball team in the Twin Cities. Well, since we've decided to record all these openings on video, I have to be strategic. And the next couple of weeks, on Monday, when I usually record these, we are going to be on the road. It is the longest road trip of the season. It happens every single year where we're gone from anywhere between 10 and 13 days. This year it's 10 days because our ballpark hosts the high school tournament. So we head down to Texas for 4 days, the Dallas area, and then over to Cleburne, which is just outside of the Dallas area, back up to Wichita, Kansas, and then we have an off day on the back end before we come back home. The off day will be spent in town. So I'm recording this on a Saturday, usually recorded on a Monday. And then just to let you in, I'm going to record the episode 2 weeks from now, about 30 seconds after I'm done with this one. So, there you go. We'll see what I have. But, we do this road trip every single year, as I mentioned, and I always enjoy going down to Texas. My friend that I've known 35 years, 36 years, his sister and some of his family live down just outside of the Dallas area. I'm going to see her on Monday. So we fly in Monday. I think we land at 9, 10 in the morning, renting a car, going to see her, and going to go on the lake and jet ski and stuff like that. And it reminded me of 2 or 3 years ago when I saw her when we were down there, and she asked if I wanted to go water skiing. Now, look, my athletic ability is probably next to nothing these days outside of me working out in a gym and running on treadmill and stuff like that. I'd never been water skiing in my life. And seriously, the first time I put the water skis on and the boat sort of started to take off, I was like dead weight. I didn't even get up off the skis, and I just sort of fell forward. Not even hard. There was no momentum, and I just fell forward. And I think I did it about a dozen times. And each time I got closer and closer and closer to actually doing what you would consider water skiing till the very end. The last time that I did, I think I was standing for about 2 or 3 seconds. And I remember the last few times where I was standing for just a little bit, and in your mind you're thinking, oh my goodness, I'm doing it. And then the second that you thought that, you would bite it and you would wipe out. But it was so much fun. So I'll get a chance to see her, down in Texas. Like I said, we'll go jet skiing, we'll go tubing, things like that. I've known her and her family longer than I've known anyone outside of my own family. Really, I went to elementary school to preschool, kindergarten with him. He lives out in Northern California, so I try to get up there and see him every 2 or 3 years or so. So that's I don't usually do that when we go on the road. Usually the road for me is hotel, grab lunch, bus at 3:15, 3:30, ballpark, and then go back to the hotel. That's really it. I never do anything, but I always make it a point to see her and her family while I'm down there. With that said, let us get to episode number 115. It is Craig Bolerjack of the Utah Jazz. There are some voices out there that you just remember from listening to sports growing up or at different times. And I told Craig this, like, he's got that voice that just when I hear it, it takes me back to a moment in my life of sitting and watching college basketball or college football. That was kind of what he was doing as I was growing up. A really nice guy. He talks about some interesting moments in his life, having to go back to his hometown where his grandmother had passed away, something that he had carried this burden of her passing away when he was younger, and something that he needed to go back and find the information to see if it was as he remembered it as a kid, because as he talks about, it was the only way he could kind of move on with his life with his fiancée at the time or girlfriend at the time so that he could marry her. I mean, it's pretty fascinating to listen to the dynamic of the mental and emotional struggle that Craig had for that moment. It's a little bit of a shorter episode. I think it's about 38, 39 minutes. I got Craig just as the Jazz got into town. He had dinner reservations on the back end, so I was very cognizant of that, but he could not have been nicer. Did this at the hotel that the team stays at. If you've not subscribed to the podcast, you can do so on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. And again, be sure to rate us. Also, follow us on social media. Twitter at TheVoiceBTV, Facebook, facebook.com/TheVoiceBTV. You can always email me, thevoicebtv@gmail.com. All right, let's get to episode number 115. It is Craig Bolerjack of the Utah Jazz. JW, roll the open.
I'm not embarrassed to say, yeah, sure I did. I had to find some answers, and I wanted to, talk about it to somebody who wasn't like this conversation. Sure. I wanted someone that I could just say, here's what happened. Is that normal? What I feel? Because I didn't know what was normal. And are you supposed to be sad? Sure. Are you supposed to cry? Are you supposed to let it go? And all those things took time.